Everyone, I am back with another discussion video on previous year's mains question. From this discussion onwards, I have chosen a new process. Rather than going year wise, we will have discussion on previous year's questions based on topics. So, from today, we will start ethics, and the topic is the foundation of ethics. We will cover all questions on this topic right from 2013 till 2025, and once we do that we will move to next topic, that is values. If you all are comfortable, you can switch to 1.5x speed, and let's start with the first question. Okay, we will start with 2014's question on what does ethics seek to promote in human life, and the second part of the question is why it is all more important in public administration. So first, give a brief definition what you want to write in your own language. What is ethics? So you can define ethics as a set of moral principles that govern a person's behavior or how they take action, and then it provides a moral compass to an individual and society, guiding action towards the greater good. Give a short definition, and that will be more than enough. After that, come to the first part of the question, that is ethics seek to promote what ethics seeks to promote in human life. Okay, so it promotes or helps in cultivating moral virtue. All right, like courage, honesty, compassion. In point number 2, you can write it provides framework for human beings, that is the school of deontology or utilitarianism, which ultimately helps you to become an objective decision maker or a rational decision maker. All right, now when we go to the third point, it will be like it helps us to, or it advocates the principles of justice, respect for others, facilitating social harmony, which is very much important for peaceful coexistence in this society. Okay, and it also helps in building trust among personal and professional relationship. In point number 5, you can write provides a standard for accountability among individuals, and it also fosters a sense of inner peace and self actualization by aligning with one's highest values. Now, in the second part of the question, you are going to write about ethics' importance in public administration, why it becomes important in public administration. Now, for that, ethics provide principle that is needed to guide a civil servant who has got a vast discretionary power in handling, the funds for civil service requirement. And then it also helps in promoting social justice by ensuring that the civil servants or the person who are in the public administration are impartial. Then, like I said earlier, it tries to uphold the sanctity of public funds. It ensures that constitutional morality and upholds the spirit of law. Now, for public administration, effective service delivery is also important for good governance. That's why ethics is important in public administration. And whether the state is legitimately taking action or not, that is also determined by a person or the civil servant or public servant being ethically connected to his or her roots. As Dr. Ambedkar has noted, constitutional morality is not a natural sentiment, it is cultivated. Okay? So, ethics helps a bureaucrat in to become a civil servant, ensuring that the state, that is the government, remains moral and just. Okay. Now we will move on to the next question, question number 2. This is a question from 2016. Explain how ethics contribute to social and human well-being. Similar points will be there here as well, but first write the definition that ethics is not only a philosophical study, it is a practical science of right conduct that provides moral foundation for achieving both individual satisfaction and collective prosperity by establishing trust and just society. Now, how ethics contribute to social well-being? First of all, it helps in building social trust. Now, for example, ethical journalism builds informed public opinion, essential for which is a essential part of strong democracy. Now, in second point, you can write that principle of fairness is inculcated into where the being, so equitable distribution of resources can happen. Then it also provides you ethical reasoning that allows to move beyond self-interest to maximize greater good. And fourth point is fostering responsible citizenship. How it does that? By virtue of tolerance, empathy, and respect for the rule of law. Now, coming to the next part of the question, that is ethics contribution to human well-being. Social well-being, we saw how it helps in society's well-being. Now we can see the individuals or the human well-being part. Ethic is essential to achieve eudaimonia, that is a good life. ठीक है, good life क्या है? Not the life of pleasure, but the life where you are having a peaceful life or peaceful existence by not only being good to yourself but also being good to the others around you. ठीक है, then inculcating cardinal virtues. Now cardinal virtues are 3 in number: courage, temperance and wisdom. Now rational or objective decision making के लिए भी it helps us to navigate. ठीक है, then आपका it provides a sense of purpose which is important for human beings. And then finally the life filled with inner peace and a strong sense of self-respect. So ethics therefore is a sine qua non for high quality life by fostering virtuous individuals and creating trustworthy institutions. It transforms society from a mere collection of people to flourishing civilization. Always try to sum up the entire answer with a conclusion so that the examiner will understand that okay, you have written all the points, but you also understand ethics in a sense that you can tie the entire answer into just few lines, because this is whatever you have concluded, this is what you have described in your answers as well. Now coming to the next question, that is ethics encompasses several key dimensions that are crucial in guiding individuals and organizations towards morally responsible behavior. Explain the key dimension of ethics that influence human actions. Discuss how these dimensions shape ethical decision making in the professional context. This is a question from 2025. Now, I'm not going year wise, I'm going topic wise. So we will cover in this video most of the question from the first chapter of the ethics, that is the foundation of ethics. Okay, so that is the reason why you will see a shift of 2014 to 2016. Now we are doing 2025 question. Maybe in the next question we will be doing 2024 question. So it will all be depending on which topic we are doing currently in this video. Okay, so we are with the first topic of the ethics, and we shall continue with the answer. So here also start with a very simple way of saying that ethics as a normative science influences human emotions by addressing multiple facets of morality and behavior. और इसके बाद अब की dimensions क्या है वो लिखिए. ठीक है, फर्स्ट हम लोग देखेंगे वो है डिओन्टोलॉजी, और दिस इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज ड्यूटी बेस्ड एथिक्स. तो इसमें आपका फोकस एरिया क्या रहेगा, ये ड्यूटी बेस्ड होता है. ठीक है, and focus on inherent rightness or wrongness of a action. ठीक है, no matter whatever the end consequence is, आप एक्शन के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है कि वेदर इट वॉज एथिकल और नॉट एथिकल. ठीक है, देन इट फॉलोज यूनिवर्सल moral rules or duties are the main aim for deontology, and it also ensures that action are guided by principles. कैसे principles? जैसे truthfulness, justice, fairness. ठीक है, एंड आपको एक एग्जाम्पल अगर इसका दिया जाएगा, बिकॉज द क्वेश्चंस आस्क डिस्कस हाउ दीज डायमेंशन शेप एथिकल डिसीजन मेकिंग इन द प्रोफेशनल कंडक्ट में. ठीक है, तो प्रोफेशनल कंडक्ट में आपका कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट होता है एज अ सिविल सर्वेंट. ठीक है, तो डिओंटोलॉजी सेज दैट यू मस्ट फॉलो द कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट नो मैटर वॉट एवर हैपन्स. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट हम लोग चलेंगे teleological or consequentialism outcome based, that is part of the dimension of ethics. This mainly focuses on consequences or outcome. क्या आपका एक्शन है, कैसे अराइव हो रहा है, वो कुछ नहीं पता. जो आपका कॉन्सिक्वेंस है वो ठीक डायरेक्शन में जा रहा है कि नहीं, वो इसका मेन फोकस एरिया है. ठीक है, यूटिलिटेरियनिज्म प्रिंसिपल जो है, दैट इज ग्रेटेस्ट गुड फॉर ग्रेटेस्ट नंबर. That principle, the teleological or the consequentialism follows in ethics. ठीक है, guides an individual to consider broader impact on all the stakeholders. ये ज़्यादा important है. For example अगर आप देखेंगे तो like for example prioritize a public health intervention that benefits millions even if few industry faced issue during the COVID 2019 वाला केस. ठीक है, और आपका वर्च्यू एथिक्स जो है वो है आपका कैरेक्टर बेस्ड एथिक्स. ठीक है, फोकसेस ऑन कैरेक्टर एंड मॉरल वर्च्यूज दैट आर मॉरल ऑफ दैट ऑफ अ पर्सन rather than action or outcome. It asks what would a virtuous person do. ठीक है, और यहाँ पे जो इंडिविजुअल है वो उनको कल्टीवेट करना है एरिस्टोटेलियन गोल्डन मीन. ठीक है, और इसमें 4 आपका वर्च्यूज रहेगा: टेम्परेंस, करेज, इंटीग्रिटी एंड पैशन, कंपैशन. ठीक है, और फाइनली मेटा एथिक्स जो कि कॉन्सेप्चुअल एथिक्स होता है. ऑलराइट, sorry, I forgot to give an example for the virtue ethics. For example, an officer is demonstrating courage of conviction to expose scandal, upholding personal integrity over professional security. ठीक है, तो ये आप एक एग्जाम्पल लिख सकते हैं. मेटा एथिक्स में क्या होता है, फिर अब मेटा एथिक्स पे आ जाते हैं. डील्स विद द नेचर ऑफ मॉरल जजमेंट एंड लैंग्वेज, व्हाट गुड और राइट एक्चुअली मीन्स. ठीक है, और आपका इसमें एक्सप्लोर किया जाता है कि ऑब्जेक्टिव वर्सेस सब्जेक्टिव नेचर ऑफ मोरालिटी. मैं आपको एग्जांपल देती हूँ, मोरालिटी का ऑब्जेक्टिव या सब्जेक्टिव नेचर आपको जानना है तो फॉर एग्जांपल अभी एक केस आया था जिसमें सिविल सर्विस एस्पिरेंट हैड सम ऑब्जेक्शनेबल पिक्चर ऑफ हर ex-girlfriend and she murdered that particular aspirant with help of her again one of her close friends or ex-boyfriend. Now in this case there are two things. Objectively agar dekha jaye, she has taken the taken the life of a person and that is wrong irrespective of whatever was the reason. हावेवर अगर आप सब्जेक्टिव नेचर ऑफ मोरालिटी के ऊपर जाएंगे देन लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर ऑल्सो सेइंग दैट शी डिड अ ग्रेट deed by murdering this person, because in case this person becomes a civil servant, if he would have become a civil servant in the future, then whether that person could have done this with n number of females whom he could have in contact, and because he would have been in the power of authority, he could have easily done it to many females And when you are guardian or when you are looking after people who are from vulnerable societies, what about them? So in this case there are two ways that you can see objectively also, that when law sees it, the law will be always objective about it, that no, she has murdered the person and she will be dealt with she will deal with the consequences of what she has done. However, when it comes to subjective nature of morality, maybe people, after she comes out from the jail, because most probably she will get a life sentence, will tend to forgive her for her uh, uh, grave crime which she has done. Taking life is not a good thing, irrespective of whatever the consequence was. However, again, it is the subjective nature, that whether what you think is correct or wrong, that makes us decide the meta ethics of the, or the conceptual ethics, that question and answering starts coming. And finally, like, this meta ethics will help you to, like, point out individuals moral conviction, whether moral rules which we follow are absolute or relative to cultural context. And we can take an example like basing on environmental protection policies on the universal value of stewardship for future generation, which emphasizes that responsible management and protection of the natural environment for benefit of current and future generation. ठीक है, तो इस तरह आप लिख सकते हैं. वैसे आई हैव गिवन सम मोर एग्जाम्पल्स, यू कैन पॉज द वीडियो and you can go through the dimension of role of professional decision making. Example in administration, you can go through it. I have given for deontology alag se, consequentialism. In the next page I have also given for virtue ethics and meta ethics. Okay, so you can go through it, pause the video and go through it slowly, read about it. Okay, writing with good examples gives you like more clarity. ठीक है, फाइनली आप in the end you can just write a short conclusion that by integrating these dimensions, a professional decision moves beyond mere legality to achieve moral responsibility and ethical governance. ठीक है, now going to the next question. This is a code based question. Learn everything that is good from others but bring it in, and if you your way absorb it, do not become others. ठीक है, and this was said by Swami Vivekananda. Now briefly just define, usually whenever the quotation is provided, the first question is always about like explain it, why, what the quotation means to you, and also explain in the like present context wala part always is there in the quotation based question. So first though, what you what the quotation means, you have to first give a brief keywords while explaining those words or core in the body part of the answer. So the quotation is a powerful use message on identity, constructive learning and self reliance. ठीक है, तो कोर वर्ड्स क्या मतलब कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे? सिलेक्टिव एसिमिलेशन यहाँ पे मीन कर रहे हैं, दैट इज ओपन माइंड आपका रहना चाहिए न्यू नॉलेज और आइडियाज़ के लिए. ठीक है, सेकेंड पॉइंट आपका है ऑथेंटिक एंड ओनरशिप, लाइक ऑथेंटिसिटी रहना चाहिए आपका और एक ओनरशिप रहना चाहिए. एब्जॉर्ब इट बट डू नॉट बिकम अदर. इट वॉन्ट्स अगेंस्ट इमिटेशन. ठीक है, ब्लाइंड इमिटेशन नहीं करना है आपको. एंड थर्ड पॉइंट है ट्रू ग्रोथ व्हेन यू इंटरनलाइज द लर्नड गुड, फिल्टर इट थ्रू वंस ओन रीजनिंग एंड कॉन्शियंस. ठीक है, ब्लाइंडली नहीं फॉलो करना है आपको. कोई भी एक नया इंफॉर्मेशन उसको आप खुद अपने वैल्यू सिस्टम के साथ अलाइन करके देखिए कि वो कहाँ बैठ रहा है, And if you think that okay, some tweaks are to be done, do it and then absorb it in your mind. And finally, it helps you to evolve yourself, not replace it entirely with new information. That is the main thing you have to take with this quotation. Now, relevance क्या है? Its relevance is that you have to combat conformity in the age of social media. ठीक है, अभी सोशल मीडिया पे कुछ भी ट्रेंड आ जाता है, द irrespective of the generation, the people start following it blindly without seeing whether what is the consequence of that particular action which you are taking, just to merely follow a trend. ठीक है. तो सेकेंड पॉइंट क्या है? अडॉप्टिंग बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस. ठीक है, तो आपको एज अ सिविल सर्वेंट जब भी आप बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस अडॉप्ट कर रहे हो किसी और डिफरेंट कंट्री से या स्टेट से भी, यू हैव टू थिंक द impact, how it will impact on locals. ठीक है, सो डिसेंट्रलाइज प्लानिंग करना है विथ लोकल कल्चर्स नुआंसेस. एंड देन यू हैव टू लर्न, ठीक है, विजडम फ्रॉम हिस्टोरिकल फिगर्स लाइक गांधी जी, बट डेवलप मॉरल करेज टू टेक डिसीजन ऑन AI एंड डेटा प्राइवेसी. ठीक है, अब लास्ट में आपको क्या करना है? लर्न फ्रॉम टॉपर्स कॉपी. आप as a aspirant you have to write good answers so you can learn from the toppers copy, but as a UPSC aspirant you must develop your own writing style and thought process, because later on you will become like decision makers. You are going to become people who will be writing those policies, the nuances in those policies. And if you keep on like following the system of thought process of others, you cannot develop it on your own. So it's better to like read everything, but how you want to write your answer, that should always be your own style. Okay, now the code serves as a guiding principle for ethical growth and self mastery. Okay, and without that blind imitation, you have to present the best part of yourself and the new things which you are inculcating in your value system. That should be the aim. The balance should always be there. Now we will go to the next question. This is a quotation by Immanuel Kant. This is one of my favorite quotes. Even before reading GS paper for ethics, I knew about this quote and I really liked whatever I understood from this quote. And this was in 2024 question. ठीक है, in law a man is guilty when he violates the rights of others. Excuse me. In ethics he is guilty if he only thinks of doing so. So अगर आप लॉ का देखिए, जब तक आप कोई एक्ट ऐसा बुरा एक्ट किए ही नहीं है तो आपको लॉ कभी गिल्टी नहीं मानेगी. बट इमैनुअल कांट कहता है कि एथिक्स के अंडर में ये सोचा जाता है कि अगर आपने मन में भी सोच लिया, अगर हम लोग कहते हैं ना मैं उस आदमी का मर्डर कर दूंगा, तो आपने मन में तो सोच लिया ना, इसीलिए आपने वो शब्द बोले अपने मुंह से. तो इमैनुअल कांट कह रहे हैं कि वो भी आपको गिल्टी बनाता है. ठीक है, एथिक्स के नज़रिए से आपको वो बोलना ही नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि आपने सोचा इसलिए आपने बोला. और अगर आप बोल रहे हैं तो हो सकता है कि फ्यूचर में कर भी सकते हैं. तो गुस्से में भी हो आप, चाहे वो आपके फ्रेंड हो, एनिमी हो, ऐसे वर्ड्स ना तो सोचिए और ना तो बोलिए. ठीक है, एंड देन वी विल मूव टू द आंसर ऑफ दैट क्वेश्चन. द कोट एसेंशियली ट्राइज टू कन्वे द डिफरेंस बिटवीन एक्सटर्नल मोरालिटी जो कि लॉ है, इंटरनल मोरालिटी जो कि एथिक्स है. ठीक है, और इसको हम अगर मतलब आंसर या पार्ट वाइज डिवाइड करेंगे तो पहले हम लॉ को समझेंगे कि लॉ जो है वो एक एक्सटर्नल बाउंड्री है एंड इट इज़ एक्शन सेंट्रिक. जब तक एक्शन नहीं होता है लॉ का वहाँ प्रेजेंस नहीं आ सकता है. ठीक है, सो लॉ इज़ कंसर्न विथ ऑब्जर्वेबल एक्शन एंड देयर कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज ऑन द राइट्स ऑफ अदर्स. Guilt is established on committing a physical or documented violation. ठीक है, actus reus. इसका मतलब होता है गिल्टी एक्ट। आप गिल्टी तब हैं जब आपने एक्शन कर लिया, ठीक है। अ सिस्टम ऑफ मिनिमम स्टैंडर्ड दैट गवर्न्स सोशल कंडक्ट वेयर पनिशमेंट एक्ट्स एज अ डेटरेंट, ठीक है। अब एथिक्स क्या बोल रहा है कि द इंटरनल सैंक्सिटी, इंटेंशन सेंट्रिक, आपका इंटेंशन क्या था, क्यों आप मर्डर करना चाहते हैं, ठीक है। कांट को ये जानना है, ठीक है। तो कांट डियोंटोलॉजिकल स्कूल से बिलोंग करते थे एंड ही सेड दैट ethics holds that the moral worth of an action resides in the intention behind it, and guilt begins at the moment an individual intends to act immorally. Mens rea, इसका मतलब गिल्टी माइंड, आपने ऑलरेडी माइंड में सोच लिया, आप गिल्टी वहीं हो गए, ठीक है। फिर एथिक्स इज दस अ सिस्टम ऑफ मैक्सिमम स्टैंडर्ड्स दैट गवर्न्स इनर कैरेक्टर, ठीक है। अभी प्रेजेंट कॉन्टेक्स्ट में ये कैसे रेलेवेंट है, अगर आप देखा जाएगा पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में, देन सिविल सर्वेंट मस्ट नॉट ओनली अवॉइड कमिटिंग करप्ट एक्ट बट ऑल्सो प्रिवेंट एनी मेलिशियस इंटेंट और कन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट, ठीक है। आप एक एग्जाम्पल भी दे सकते हैं, आई हैव गिवन इट, जस्ट रीड इट and try to comprehend this point, and if एग्ज़ाम में यही सेम क्वेश्चन आ गया तो आप यही पॉइंट लिख सकते हैं, या इफ़ यू थिंक दैट यू हैव अ बेटर एग्जाम्पल यू कैन ऑल्सो राइट दैट। सेकेंड क्या है, मॉरल हिपोक्रेसी है, एंड individuals who follow law, for example they will pay tax everything but harbor feeling of prejudice, ठीक है। प्रेजुडिस उनके मन में होगा, ग्रीड होगा उनके मन में, तो वो फिर मतलब क्या बोलते हैं, एथिकल पर्सन तो नहीं हो सकते हैं, ठीक है। डेटा एंड प्राइवेसी, विद राइज ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी एक पर्सन या कंपनी कैन मिस यूज पर्सनल डेटा फॉर देयर ओन प्रॉफिट, और दे आर थिंकिंग ऑफ डूइंग दैट, which is an ethical violation even before the actual breach has happened. So Kant's quotation reminds us that while law is the floor designed to protect others from our action, ethics is the ceiling, ठीक है। फ्लोर और सीलिंग, छत और आपका फर्श, आपका जो लॉ है वो फर्श है और जो आपका छत है वो है एथिक्स। ये कोटेशन जो कांट का है वही दर्शाता है। तो आज के लिए बस इतना ही है, और आज का हमारा डिस्कशन यहीं ख़त्म होता है। वी डिस्कस्ड 5 क्वेश्चंस एंड वी विल अगेन begin our next video discussion session with the foundation of ethics and try to complete or try to discuss some more question on this topic onwards. And don't worry, I'll try to finish all the questions from this particular topic and then only we'll move to the next topic. Thanks for watching, and if you have not subscribed my channel yet, please subscribe it, and bye bye, take care.